Hey, welcome back to World Entertainment, and some interesting news has broken regarding Alien and Predator. Now, we've just done a video on Predator Badlands, that they've given it an official release date, and that it's finished filming, and all stuff like that. Well, now we're getting direct information about another Predator movie that's in the works, that will come out before Badlands. Yeah, as well as an Alien sequel, more so sequel to Alien Romulus, and yes, and even news about a possible new AVP movie. Yeah. Now, the secret Predator movie that's been discussed, this was announced back when they announced Badlands was in production. So it's not all that secret, it's only people thought that was going to be Prey 2, which is still supposed to be coming as well. What we hear actually from the head of 20th Century Studios is interesting regarding what he says about Prey. Quite interesting. So it comes all from him. The article we're going to have a look at is on AVP Galaxy, and they go into a bit more detail about what this Predator movie is. But let's jump into this, because this is quite in-depth and interesting. The headline for it says, Alien Romulus sequel in the works, new AVP film will probably happen, another secret Predator film is on the way, and we've got some details. Well, alrighty then, let's jump into this. So, President of Production at 20th Century Studios, Stephen Asbell, recently sat down with The Hollywood Reporter to discuss all things 20th Century Studios, and amongst the talk of Avatar and Planet of the Apes, Asbell dropped several updates on the future of Alien and Predator. Discussing Alien Romulus's release, pivot from streaming to theatrical, Asbell told The Hollywood Reporter that they are working on a follow-up to Fede Alvarez's hugely successful revitalization of Alien's theatrical presence. Now, I just want to swing back around before we get into his actual quote there. You're hearing they said about Avatar and Planet of the Apes. He did also discuss those, that apparently the next Planet of the Apes is meant to come in 2027, I think he said. But that they want to use 20th Century Studios to focus on 4 main properties. That's right, 4 main properties, and those properties are Avatar, Planet of the Apes, Alien, and Predator. So that's interesting. Now here's what he says regarding this sequel idea for Alien Romulus. So he says, we're working on a sequel idea now. We haven't quite closed our deal with Fede Alvarez, but we are going to. And he has an idea that we're working on. The 2 survivors, Rain and Andy, played by Kaylee Spaney and David Johnson, are real highlights of the film. And so I always think of it like, wow, where do people want to see them go next? We know there's going to be aliens, we know there's going to be a great horror set piece, but I fell in love with both of them, and I want to see what their story is. Now, jumping straight into that, that's the big issue I actually have with the idea for a sequel to Alien Romulus. Because to start with, the sequel to Alien Romulus should be aliens, because that's what should follow on from this. The idea that we're going to follow them 2 characters again makes absolutely 0 sense to me. It really does, because as far as I'm concerned, from what I saw that film, their stories were wrapped up. We know where they were going. There was nothing to indicate that there was still going to be xenomorph or anything like that with them on board the ship or anything. So as far as I'm concerned, their story is finished, and I don't want to continue on with those 2 characters. What would be the point? Realistically, what would be the point? That is you trying to just turn them into Bishop and Ripley, and it's not going to work, in my opinion. And I think for the people who were quite mixed on their reactions to Alien Romulus, I think they'll hate that news that, oh, you're doing an actual direct sequel to Romulus. And I think for even people who did enjoy the movie, I personally enjoyed the movie. I hated the ending. Like, they absolutely shit the bed with the ending. And I hate the fact what they did with the character of Rook, who just ended up playing a much bigger role than they should have. And of course, I hate the connection back to Prometheus, but that more so goes back to the end of the film. Other than that, I really did enjoy the movie. Andy was the standout character in that movie. I don't want to spend another movie with them. As again, their story was wrapped up. So anyway, it continues saying, as the outlet pressed Asbel about other films, they also asked about the possibility of a future AVP film. Prior to the Disney merger, previous executives at 20th Century Fox had said that after the failures of the first two films, Alien vs. Predator was considered something of a cursed title. All you had to do was kind of adapt the game and stuff, and it would have been cool, but whatever. So, following the merger, many existing AVP license holders would lose the license, and we've seen no movement from any AVP products since. Marvel still has no republished Dark Horse Comics older titles like they have the separate Alien and Predator series, nor have they published an original series yet. Following the success of both Alien Romulus and Prey, many within the fandom were hoping that another attempt at a crossover would be likely. Asbel told a Hollywood Reporter that we would probably see another AVP on the big screen again, elaborating it wouldn't be like the previous attempts to realise the iconic crossover in live action. So here's what he said to this. It won't be in the way you think. That's the thing. Not in the way that it will just be called Alien vs. Predator or anything like the original movies. If we do this, they'll be organically created out of these two franchises that we've continued with characters that we fell in love with, and those characters will combine, perhaps. But we haven't gotten to that point, and we're not just going to bang it out. Now, I don't know where they're taking the whole it might be in live action and stuff with that statement, but the interesting thing is he says characters we love will cross over and combine. Well, so far we've only had two movies, and those type of characters can't possibly join forces because one is in the past and one is way in the future. So what exactly is he talking about there? Don't know. But then it goes on about this other Predator. So it says, but the biggest news to come out of this interview is the bombshell that there's another Predator film in the works that isn't Predator Badlands or a Prey 2. That will be released before Predator Badlands finds its way into cinemas. Here's what he said about this. There's a second Predator movie that we have different plans for. Dan has actually directed both. There's a secret Predator movie that will come out before the theatrical one, but I can't say anything about that yet. Now, the part he leaves out about in this part of the statement is he said before he got to that part that Dan Trachtenberg wanted to do another Predator movie, but apparently he said, I don't want to do Prey 2, which is interesting because everything we've seen Trachtenberg talk about was doing a Prey 2. He's discussed doing a Prey 2. Amber Midthunder has said she's had conversations with him about Prey 2. So where this thing has come from of I want to do more Predator movies but not Prey 2 is interesting. So it says here, Asbel's use of live action to specifically describe Predator Badlands has already led to speculation around the Predator fandom that this secret Predator film will not be. AVP Galaxy can confirm this new Predator film is indeed an animated feature. Throughout 2024, we've heard from multiple sources that a Predator anime film directed by Dan Trachtenberg was in production. Not only that, AVP Galaxy can also exclusively reveal the animated Predator film will finally be pitting the extraterrestrial hunter against the samurai. So there's your big kind of scoop about the anime thing. Now, the other thing that's not in this with the animated story is that's not going to the big screen. They kind of leave that part out of what what's his name, Asbel says, is when he's discussing it as well. He says, because he gets asked the question, can we see more Predator movies on the big screen? And he said yes and no. And the answer was that's when he talks about Dan Trachtenberg wanting to do a Predator movie but not Prey 2. And it ends up being that he discusses that Badlands is going to be on the big screen and that the secret one won't be. But the secret one will come out first. So it looks like the animated one will drop on Hulu. It's interesting as well. Now, they don't speak about that in this one, this article or anything. But if you read his full interview, which is a real kind of fluff piece, and it's funny because it kind of shows you how all of Disney's successes this year were all Fox properties. Basically, except for Inside Out, which was Pixar. So everything else that was these major hits for them were all Fox owned properties, which I think is funny as well, that they keep going on and on about the Planet of the Apes one being this massive success. I'm pretty sure that thing didn't break even, but whatever. But he talks about how because the franchises are so great, they want and know that they work now, that they want to focus more on them. My argument and pushback to that is, regarding Predator, is you don't know whether it works. He's going off the basis that, oh well, Prey was really well received. It's like, yeah, it was. Problem is, you didn't put it on a big screen, so you've no idea what the reaction will be to Predator being back on the big screen. And from what we're hearing about Badlands, because he talked about that in his main interview with a Hollywood Reporter, he basically says, like, oh, it's absolutely an out there idea, that it's just basically batshit crazy, but we went for it. And of course, the idea is that it's meant to be set on a different world, that it's set in the future, and that they're the twins both played by Elle Fanning and stuff like that. So if they go two balls to the wall with the next Predator movie that they're putting on the big screen and that fails, then what do they do? Because his reaction of, oh, we know now that they work for the big screen. Again, when it comes to Predator, no, you don't, because you didn't put Prey on the big screen. He also spoke about actually how the fact that Alien Romulus was originally being filmed and made to be put directly on to Hulu. That it was never meant to be on the big screen. But after COVID and stuff like that, they kind of maneuvered in a different direction, relocated some budget and went, hey, let's actually put this thing on the big screen. So it's interesting to hear their statements. The AVP statement is very strange to say, oh, the characters we love will combine and stuff. So clearly they don't want to do kind of a standalone AVP movie when they get to that point, but it sounds like whatever we're getting in Alien Romulus and what comes after that and whatnot, and probably I would assume Badlands, they want to try and maneuver them into the same movie, which sounds very kind of Marvel-esque if you think about it. Yeah, again though, I don't know how this is going to go down with people. I don't think much people are going to really care about a animated Predator movie. I don't know what the reaction is going to be to a Alien Romulus sequel. I think people would be open possibly to an Alien sequel, like just a brand new story, brand new characters, maybe even set it well after Ripley and stuff. Instead they're going back to, oh, that movie did well for us, let's use them characters again, even though there's only two of them left, and again their stories seem to be very well wrapped up. Oh, we'll see though. We'll see what the reaction is. Let us know in the comments what you guys think. Are you interested in more Alien movies and more Predator movies? I've already seen some comments saying just let it go at this stage. I'm kind of inclined to agree, but they're money making machines, so of course they're going to constantly produce these things, and Disney want more IPs. Well, we'll wait and see. So, with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I will catch you in the next one.